Morning. How many more levels of can they give you until you run out? Yeah. I got trifocals and I'm still doing this, right? Maybe that's.
Do they make quadruple?
I think they. Crazy.
Oh, did you win something? That thing on the wall, has it been on there?
They've been there a while. Ginger won't miss a thing around here, do you?
No. Well, ask how many seen the TV.
How many saw the TV out in the hallway? Oh, everybody. I'm not sure, Anna. What's the problem?
Nothing, it's pretty.
And your coleslaw was still good, regardless of what they say about you.
Now she feels bad.
Mm-hmm. You know that. You know the way to a man's heart, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, we are in the New Testament this week. We're going to be over in John, 1 John. And, if I'll say this before, I'm not a reader. Don't like to read, period. Because I have to. It's like work, right? Bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Or if you have to go there and you have to read a bunch of stuff, it's a lot of work. But the scriptures are a different thing. If you like, even if you don't like to read, some of the best reading is in John. Not necessarily any one particular book, but John being John himself was one of the original 12 disciples, right? He was the youngest of the 12. He had a brother named James, not James, the half-brother of Jesus. This is John and James. And their dad's name was, anybody know? Zebedee. Good answer. He was a fisherman. And they kind of called them by name. They kind of had a nickname for those two. They call them Sons of Thunder. Personality thing, I think. Jesus called them that, so he knows better than me. But this pair, they became very close friends of Jesus. There was, obviously, of the 12 disciples or apostles, there was, they have, some are just closer friends than others, right? Or closer, maybe more committed, right, than others. But there was James and John and Peter. I don't know if you remember our play. Remember Peter? Yeah. Remember we had this little skit and three of them came up there to the transfiguration. It was James and John and Peter. Right? Good friends of Jesus. Great friends. Yeah, they were still lazy people. That's great. So John himself, just in a nutshell, St. John, right? Let's refer him as St. John. St. John, he wrote the Gospel of John. He wrote 1 John, wrote 2 John, wrote 3 John, and he wrote Revelation, right? Remember, he's an old man. He's put on the Isle of Patmos, right? As if he was in jail, right? And that's where he wrote Revelation. Well, that's a totally different lesson. Definitely need probably someone else to teach it. But anyway, John himself, not to mention others, he was a witness, an